1 minute. 1 minute.
Good morning, and thank you all for coming. We're here today to take another step forward on the path to strengthening the relationship between the Louisville Metro Police Department and the people they serve every day. This work is essential to reducing violent crime and improving public safety, which are the greatest responsibilities of our city government. Crucial to doing that work effectively is earning the trust of the public. And to do that, we have to provide and demonstrate accountability. And that applies to everyone in Metro government, including me, and particularly to our police department. We ask our officers to risk their lives. We also ask them to uphold the highest standards of conduct, particularly when it comes to respecting the rights of Louisvillians. The overwhelming majority of officers do an outstanding job of meeting that standard every day and every night. They bring honor to the badge through millions of interactions with people of our city. At the same time, we know that unfortunately and tragically, there have been exceptions to that. We have seen some instances of individual officers who made decisions that went against the fundamental principles of public service and public safety, and that's unacceptable. So as a city and as a city government, we have to understand what happened in those cases and respond appropriately to maintain the public's trust and to ensure that corrective actions are taken so failures are not repeated. That hasn't always happened at LMPD. That's why reforming and improving this department has been a top priority for me and our new chief of police since we were both sworn in earlier this year. She and I took our oaths knowing the United States Department of Justice report on its investigation into DOJ was coming. We also knew that we weren't going to wait for that report to be complete or anything else to begin to take action. And we haven't waited. From our first day in office, we've been working to make it clear to everyone in our city, officers and residents, that there is a new leader at LMPD. There is a new culture, and there are new policies that put accountability front and center. The work of implementing those policies began in January and continued after the DOJ released its report on its investigation in March. As you may recall, the DOJ report included information about 63 specific incidents from previous years that involved possible officer misconduct. We asked for and received additional information about these specific incidents from the Department of Justice so that it could be disclosed to the public. We are aware of no other police department in the country that has taken this step. We released many documents about those incidents in May, and also announced that the chief would be looking into the portion of those incidents that had not been the subject of a professional standards unit investigation. Our chief would get the facts and determine what needs to be done to learn from the past and make sure any misconduct is not repeated. As part of this process, today, LMPD will be supplementing the documents already produced with relevant body cam footage so the public can fully understand the circumstances of each incident referenced in the Department of Justice report. All of this is part of the ongoing work of reforming and improving LMPD and strengthening trust with the public. And I want to say that the overwhelming majority of officers have adopted well to the new standards. They appreciate clear guidance, expectations, and communications because they want to do their jobs the right way, and they want their colleagues to do the same. As you will soon hear from the chief, there have been instances in which she has determined that severe disciplinary action was necessary for a number of LMPD's 1,000+ officers. Terminations have occurred, and more are pending. The chief will speak to that. Before she speaks, there are a few things, though, to understand about how the process of disciplining police officers works. First, just like we require officers to respect the constitutional rights of residents, officers also have those same rights themselves and are also covered by specific provisions of their collective bargaining agreement. Additionally, there are several provisions of state law that impact this as well. Some of the officers who've been recommended for disciplinary action are appealing and are just in the early stages of the appeals process. So under Kentucky state law, a law that seems ridiculous, quite frankly, to me, Metro government can release information about officer discipline cases, but neither the chief nor I nor anyone in Metro government can comment on those cases until the entire appeals process is complete. So I ask you to please bear with us. I know it's frustrating. It's frustrating for us, but we are sworn to uphold and abide by the law. That is the law. What I can tell you without violating the law is that severe discipline has been imposed on some of the individuals who are referenced in the DOJ report by name or by conduct. Again, what we're talking about today is another step in the process of reforming and improving LMPD. There will be many more. The Department of Justice has yet to send us the first draft of the consent decree that is part of the reform process. But as I said, we're not waiting. The people of Louisville and the LMPD officers who are dedicated to doing their job the right way want us to move with urgency in our work to make this the most trained, trusted, and transparent police department in America. And that's what we're here to do. To talk more about the specifics of today's announcement, I'd like to turn things over to our new chief of LMPD, Jackie Gwinn-Villaroel. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. To our mayor, Mayor Greenberg, to our elected officials who are kindly standing with me today, Councilman Baker and Councilwoman Hawkins, thank you for being here. And to the LMPD executive leadership that is here with me, and to the LMPD officers that will be hearing every word that I say, and to the media that is covering this event today, and to all of the citizens of Louisville, I greet you this morning. On March the 8th, 2023, the Department of Justice released the findings of their investigation to Louisville Metro government and the Louisville Metro Police Department. In their report, the Department of Justice described incidents to support their claims. After their announcement, at the request of myself and my executive command staff, the DOJ provided the Jefferson County Attorney's Office a list of 63 incidents referenced in their findings with identifying report numbers and information. I repeat, at the request of myself and my executive command staff. It should be noted, Louisville is the first city that we are aware of to take the additional step of asking for and receiving this detailed information from the DOJ. We wanted to do this to have a better understanding of their findings and how to develop systems and processes to ensure constitutional policing methods going forward. On May 26, Mayor Greenberg and I explained that along with my executive team, LMPD will be reviewing incidents not previously investigated by our professional staff standards unit to determine if any further action was warranted. The internal investigations by my executive staff and myself, which were done in the form of a formal review, are complete, and no further formal investigations will occur. There have been previous formal investigations on these incidents, and discipline has been imposed on many. However, the disciplinary process is not complete on all. Since January, I have initiated 32 separate incidents not related to the DOJ report. This demonstrates a culture of self-accountability and correction going forward. Additionally, I have terminated 7 employees and have discipline pending, including several suspensions, 1 demotion, 1 involuntary transfer, and 4 pre-termination hearings, which could result in a termination or severe suspension. These decisions are not easy, decisions that have to be made, but as chief, I know that these are necessary actions for the betterment of the department and for the community. My success is not to be measured on the amount of discipline imposed, but by creating a culture for officers who are well-trained and supervised with clear expectations and values. But I do take my job very seriously, and if termination is on the table and must be rendered, it will be done. As stated before by both this administration and the Department of Justice, the DOJ investigation was initiated to focus on systematic issues indicative of a pattern of practice, of legal or constitutional violations. As the Department of Justice has reiterated in their report, the purpose of their investigation was not to investigate individual officers or reach a conclusion about individual conduct. But on May 26, links to the documents, reports, and other information were shared with the community on LMPD's website. This was to provide transparency and to give more context to the incidents in the DOJ report. At that time, body-worn camera videos related to the incidents were still in process of being redacted to protect the personal privacy of citizens involved. Those redactions are complete, and the videos are now available for public review on our website. This information can be found at www.louisville-police.org under the DOJ Community Resources button. Major McKinley will take a moment now to walk you through it. Click the link, and the information for your review is listed. Let me be clear, we acknowledge the DOJ's concerns with the incidents referenced in the report and the need for improved training, policies, and procedures. In our continuing efforts towards transparency and accountability, my executive team and I extensively analyzed each of the incidents referenced in the report. Not only was our goal to determine if any further administrative investigation should be initiated, but more importantly, to better understand how these incidents influence the DOJ's claims of pattern or practice violations, and to identify gaps in our own policies, training, and procedures. Many of these incidents are several years old and occurred under policies and training and procedures that have been revised and improved several times over in recent years. To provide additional context as to what policies were relevant at the time of each incident and how they have evolved, you will find specific policies from 2016 to 2021, the period of time covered by the DOJ investigation, on our website. Further, improvements to policies such as use of force, canine and body-worn camera procedures have occurred since the DOJ initiated their investigation. Additionally, we are creating processes to provide departmental instruction on the standards of use of force investigations and to ensure the accuracy and completeness of investigations by first-line supervisors. All current policies are available to the public online as well. I want to further highlight our desire for your feedback. I need the community's feedback and input on our policies and procedures. A policy feedback process is available on our website again, and we encourage the community to make comments and participate in improving policies and processes for our department and your city. I want to tell you today, this is your LMPD. LMPD's commitment to implementing reform efforts while protecting the people who live, work, and visit Louisville remains unwavering. This includes a robust evaluation of policy and procedures, training and supervision, and accountability. Our focus now is on improving on our future by implementing systems and processes to prevent the errors seen in our past. As your chief of police, I will ensure that LMPD's policing methods are both effective and constitutional. This department is dedicated to protecting the safety and constitutional rights of all members of our community. We are fully committed to building trust no matter how difficult. The Louisville Police Department is focused on the future and how we can create the best department for our community and for the men and women of LMPD. We are eager to begin discussions with the DOJ and negotiate a consent decree that both achieve this desired goal and to be successful in allowing Louisville to thrive. I thank you for your commitment to ensuring that you have the best department possible, and I encourage your input as we make strides to being a better department across this nation. I'm now open for questions.
Chief, you mentioned a lot of disciplinary issues of termination. Are any of those related to slushy days?
I could commit to you, yes. It is committed to some of the discipline, severe discipline is related to Slushygate, and that's as far as I can able to make comment on. You can actually go to our website and you will see from the Police Merit Board a public document that will list some incidents there.
Chief, you said in the press release that there's not going to be any further formal review or any further discipline, but then Mayor Greenberg said that some of the officers whose misconduct was highlighted in the DOJ report are facing. Can you explain what that means? It's kind of confusing.
Without breaking the law that the mayor has already mentioned, there are 2 officers that have been mentioned in the DOJ report that have now an additional infraction, which has caused a rise for me to make a judgment whether or not their employment should continue.
So their misconduct is something that happened after the DOJ
Yes, sir.
report? I see. Okay.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
Of the 62 incidents,
Mhm.
how many were disciplined? Out of those 62 incidents, how many officers were disciplined?
So out of the 62 incidents that we have, I'm going to give you the breakdown of the data. So out of the 62 incidents, over 30 officers were formally investigated through PSU and PIU, and nearly 20 officers received formal discipline ranging from written reprimands to a termination.
So when you said 32, you said, is that the number 32, or is it over 30, or do you know the exact number?
It is 30.
30, okay, all right. And to those people who say that's not enough, what do you say to them?
I would say that we, again, acknowledge what happened in the past. And we acknowledge that there were some deficiencies there. Policy, training, and let me say this, supervisors were not in a place or in a position in order to foster better oversight of their officers. Those days are over. I'm holding my supervisors accountable for how they are overseeing their employees, because I'm stressing to them that we want our police officers to have lasting careers, such as myself and the ones that you see flanked on both sides. And so with that, we also too created, and with the University of Louisville College of Business, I was able to collaborate with them and actually create the first Gold Merit Leadership First Line Supervisor Training. So again, we're moving in a vein where we're trying to shape and change the culture, but giving our people the necessary resources in order to do that.
Chief, did you feel pigeonholed at all because of these past policies not being able to potentially issue discipline that you would now if this case happened today?
Not so much pigeonhole, but it was highlighted that you can just see that the deficiencies were there. And some of a couple of the individuals that actually resigned prior to even a formal investigation being conducted, they would have been terminated by me today. So again, it is a learning process. It is what we're looking at it with a clear vision now. And we're saying that we want to be a better department. And we're going to strive to do that, and you're going to see those changes.
I want to follow up with that comment, those 33 cases. If it were up to you now, I mean, are we talking the majority of them would not be working under your leadership?
No, it would not be majority of those. And so again, I want to make sure that we have clarity here. All of those incidents did not rise to a termination. It could have been severe discipline, 30-day suspension and or less. It could have been a written reprimand, but a few of those would have risen to termination.
This is the last question, Darby.
As far as that consent decree, has that been filed in court yet, or do you have a date you expect that to happen?
No, we have not received any date. We're eager to start that process. So as soon as we get any kind of notification on that, I'm sure that the mayor will support me in saying this, that we will let you